This is Living an Epic Life, and I am Uchidiuno. Well, it's a program built around people that have faced enormous challenges in their life and somehow just broke all the barricades and have amounted to something. And you know the funny thing about this is I am privileged, highly honored, to be sitting next to a great person, a friend, a brother, someone that we've been through a whole lot together. Used to rap together, used to drink Gary together, used to run around together, used to school. I whispered that. But a lot happened along the way, and it seemed like everything had crumbled. But somehow, a few years later, everybody seems to be talking about it. And guess what I'm talking about? I'm talking about none other than my own friend, SteveHarrs. I'm good, man.
Man, how far, man?
Let's go. What happened in, let me be more specific, I think it was in like 2004.
2004,
yeah. It was the biggest bombshell of all time at the time. And I remember I walked into medical hospital and you were really crying. Dr. Bata was crying, everybody was crying. Then you broke the news and it was like really sad. How? Okay, now let's start. Let me just keep it real. You got kicked out of school.
Yeah.
Plain terms, you got kicked out of school. For reasons best known to them. And dude, how did you feel at that time?
Man, it was the most painful thing I've ever experienced, because you know how it is. I heard our results were out, and I went to the math department to go check it out. I thought I did very well, even though I had a bit of stress the year before. So I went to the department to check my grades, and I saw, pretty much blood. Everybody had blood.
Blood on the dance floor. Blood on the notice board.
Blood everywhere. And I checked my grades, and I had major blood. And then at the end of it, I saw F in most of my math courses. Then I saw those 5 words that no college kid wants to see: candidates, is student, And by this time I already spent 5 years in school plus ASU strike. And to now hear you being kicked out of school, it was terrifying, it was terrible. I couldn't cry there, so I had to wait until I found you and Noah in the medical hostel. And I broke down and I shared the news that I got kicked out of school. It was the most defining moments of my life, and I thought my life had come to an end. When you spend 5 years in school for a 4-year course plus ASU strike, and then you get kicked out in second semester 300 level, just when you're about to get to final year, you know what I mean? So it was traumatic, it was painful, but in retrospect, I think it's the best thing that ever happened to me. It's the best thing that ever happened to me.
Okay, now, let's assume you just spoke in Spanish. In English, how has that been the best thing that happened to you?
Okay, well, getting kicked out of school is not something anyone aspires for. Nobody prays for that. You go to school to get a degree. But when that happened, automatically there were no more choices. So I had to go back to Lagos where my parents lived, and we tried to see how we could get back into school and all the other things. We went from one place to the other. Eventually, I gained admission into Madonna University, somewhere in the East, and I started from year 1 again. By this time, my classmates were, by that time maybe I was about 25 or 26, and my classmates were like 16-year-old girls, and, 18-year-old guys, and the girls would come at me because they'll see us, say, you're so quiet, man. You don't believe me, my boyfriend.
Small children so steamy.
Small children so steamy. And I look at those kids like, I slap you. Right? And guys will come and meet me, they're sagging their J's, wearing Snoop Dogg shirts, and saying, nah, man, I like you. You're the kind of guy. We have this thing, we have this cult, we want you to come and join us. And I'm looking at these kids who are younger than my youngest brother, telling me to join a cult, and I just felt like my life had just come crashing down. And after I spent 7 months there, and I kicked myself out, so I dropped out. So I tell people I'm a 2-time college dropout. I don't have any university degree to my name. My dropping out of school is like my Grammy, it's my Oscar. So when people talk about me, SteveHarrs. And for me, the most important thing is, I dropped out of school. It was not a choice.
Yeah.
It's not something I planned on doing.
Yeah.
Nobody plans to drop out of school. And when people hear you drop out of school, they usually think, oh, you went to Harvard, and it's really cool and sexy to say, oh, you dropped out of Harvard, I dropped out of school. But guy, you do better.
University of Beanie.
You know what I'm saying? So it's amazing that God's brought me here, and I've learned a lot of lessons along the way.
Okay, I was reading through your Bible, and I discovered that you're now called one of the most sought out life strategists.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little about that?
Okay, well, that's great. For me, a life strategist is someone who helps people first define what it is they're trying to achieve, and then helps them achieve it. It's a little different from what a life coach does, because a life coach tends to just help you discover what your challenges are, and then you come to your own conclusions and you get there. I don't have that kind of patience. I'm the kind of guy who, if this is what you need to do, I'm going to tell you how to get there, and I'm going to drag you to get there. Because I notice a lot of people, they're excited, they're motivated, they want to achieve certain things, and after a while it goes down.
Yeah.
So I'm the kind of guy, I define myself as the shortest distance between where you are and where you want to be. That's my definition. So what I do for my clients is we define their goals, what it is they're trying to achieve, and over a 90-day period, I help them get there. So it could be getting out of debt, it could be setting their kids straight who's strung on drugs, it could be helping their company become profitable, it could be helping them lose weight, it could be helping their marriage get better, just those kinds of things.
Yeah.
But my goal is within a 90-day period, I will help you and walk you through, handhold you if I have to, pull you by the hair if I have to, drag you kicking and screaming if I have to. But in a 90-day period, you will get from where you were to where you want to be. And that's what I do for a living.
You're looking like someone came and rained on your parade.
Never knew people could get paid to talk. So it wasn't until eventually I met one of my mentors, fantastic, phenomenal gentleman by the name of Pt1, who is Nigeria's leading motivational speaker. And I have
Well, for me, at what point did you realize that speaking was something you really needed to take seriously?
Well, I think it took a while. Back then in school, if you remember, we were also in the same fellowship, by the way.
Love family, TLF.
TLF, baby. So we were both in the same fellowship, and they would ask me once in a while to come and introduce the pastor or
Secretary
Secretary General at the time, and I'd do all those sorts of things. And once in a while, I would get invitations to come and MC events and those kind of things. And it was just something I thought I could just do, but I never really took it seriously because I never knew people could get paid to talk. So it wasn't until eventually I met one of my mentors, fantastic, phenomenal gentleman by the name of Pt1, who is Nigeria's leading motivational speaker, and I had the opportunity to work with him. First as a volunteer, I would just come and help out, do whatever I could. But the first time I heard Fela speak, it was actually in church, and I just got this strong sensing in my heart that, this is what I'm supposed to be doing with my life. And I'd heard pastors preach, I heard speakers speak, but no one had at that time that kind of effect or impact on me. And going back in my mind, I remember that I had this interaction with God, and God said to me that this is exactly what I want you to do. And I didn't really understand it. I thought Fela was a pastor, so I'm a pastor, forget it, that's not going to happen. And long story short, I found out that as a consultant, I get paid to solve problems. As a life strategist, I get paid to solve people's problems. As a speaker, I also get paid to solve people's problems. So that's been really exciting. It's been very profitable. It's been very fulfilling, much beyond the money. It's just the opportunity to change somebody's life by something you say. I hear people, or I meet people who say, you said something 5 years ago and it's stuck with me and it's changed my life forever.
before listening to this music. I say, making sure I pie, mama rap around your son, making sure comedian to crack out joke.